That's fine. We'll just insert that at the beginning of the video as well. And...
The door's not open this time.
Aww.
Excuse me.
I was hoping to go through that whole court case again to understand the satire.
I thought there might have been like more than one section where we had to go into the court, but no, it's not open again. And yeah, this doorman
Why is this happening?
Yeah, he's talking very sexually again. Because that jukebox wasn't bad enough. Yeah, so we have the greasy glass now, which means that we need to go back to Dr. Burke's biosurgery. And I actually did figure this puzzle out just by using a process of elimination. I was like, well, he's a biosurgeon, which obviously means that we'll just have to like transplant the fingerprints onto our hands or something. Turns
so that's
out
the
it's
process
exactly
of induction, not elimination.
Yeah, whatever.
Can you match my fingerprints to those on this glass?
Oh, yep.
Yes. My machine will do that automatically. It's not against the law.
Which is what those two very strange-looking brown orbs on the computer to the left are for.
The usual procedure for identification of suspects is a retina scan at the post-mortem.
Satire?
Now, about these prints you requested.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch that he said post-mortem before. That's oh.
Yeah, that's slightly
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh yes. Quite considerate.
And I like how changing fingerprints will hurt more than getting a hole drilled into your head.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Ow.
No sound effects though. It was
you.
too expensive. And again, we could have talked to the guy who was laying on the table there. I'm very... He doesn't have anything useful to say, but I'm still sad that I didn't actually show that off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because it's not every day you get to talk to someone who has their chest just, like, hanging wide open.
And just kind of sitting there like, whatever. But how long is the surgery that's going on?
Yeah. Well, he just said that, he said when we first met Burke that he was just, like, keeping his practice, like, practicing and everything.
I wonder how much he's paying that guy whose chest
has
got
like,
open.
Gives the impression that the guy on the table is just there to help Burke, like, keep his hands busy.
The pay is good, right?
Presumably. So now we're stuck in a wine cellar. I don't know if we're actually stuck in the wine cellar, but it's a sole, like, single room, with nothing that we actually need to grab, but it leads us to the kind of, like, final location of the game.
If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere.
Yes.
It's a solid wooden storage rack for wine bottles. I'd never shift that in 1,000 years.
That's not true. Within about 20 years, you could become Arnold Schwarzenegger and do it.
But he's already, like, this really ripped guy.
He had no trouble opening that wooden box.
Yeah, you just pry that open, like, no problem.
Too dark to see what's beyond the grill.
So we have to use the
grill is too firmly attached to
wire cutters on that. Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works. Like, he just stuffed the crowbar into it and, like, got a hole in it. I don't think that's how crowbars work. Or vents.
Well, if it's a thinner grill, it might work. But
it's like a warren built.
I got the impression that it was just like one of the wire meshes or something.
Yeah.
The roof of the tunnel must have collapsed.
So, I don't know, it was very, very confusing, but that's how you get through that vent anyway. And now we're stuck in this this spot, so you can't go back to anywhere else in the game.
We are beyond the point of no return.
Yes, we are in the subway. Which, of course, has 2 dead ends.
Well, yeah.
And,
They have to show off that epic Y track somehow.
This puzzle coming up is, I think, the second spot in the game that I had to stop and look up the solution. Because there's a little hole in this wall that is a socket used for the light bulb.
What?
And the first time that I came to this section, like when I scrolled my mouse over the hole in the socket, it did not actually pop up as any sort of indication for anything. So this is what happens if you just try going past.
Something horrible.
No matter what you try to do, Rob will stop, and then horrible tentacle monster eats you.
Well, at least it kept you intact.
Yeah, very horrific. So, yeah, there's a little socket there that has an extremely particular spot to find.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it, like, when I moused over it, like, the first time I played the game, it just didn't show up. So I was like, oh, I guess maybe that's not anything that I can actually interact with. So I had to actually look it up, and it said, oh, yeah, there's a light socket on the wall, and I'm like, oh, God, pixel hunts are so annoying. But that's what the light bulb that you pick up at the beginning of the game is used for.
I honestly do not remember that puzzle at all.
Yep. That's why there was a light bulb just hanging out in a power generator.
It's the station's name.
But that lets us continue on, and then we start getting into, like, well...
Yeah, the game has just taken a turn.
Uh-oh, the tunnel roof doesn't look too stable.
Now, I think this is actually a section where you can die as well, but it's not too hard to get through before the rocks fall on Rob. And then, suddenly, horror.
Oh, jeez, the game took a turn.
With beating and everything. Yeah. This is,
I wonder what it is.
sudden switch in tone.
Didn't someone say that Link was a living organism?
Yeah?
Did we have to, like, actually do this?
Very literally, a living organism. We're, yeah. So we have to get through the shut door.
Oh, ew.
And there are a couple different things that we can interact with.
The skin's too tough to tear with my fingers.
I would love how he presumably tried.
That patch of plaster looks damp and
Yeah. It just, it even looks like it would be disgusting to try and do. Ugh. Yeah, so you gotta knock off the plaster so you can get a loose brick. Which
Ow.
just biffs him in the top of the head.
Good thing he's like the most buff person ever who can like withstand being smacked on the head with a brick.
Now I'm pretty sure you don't actually have to grab the plaster. I don't think it's used for anything. But you have to use the brick to bash the crowbar into the...
Oh, I made a hole right through the vein.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why did you take it again?
Because you never know if we need it again later. And then,
It's a medical robot.
A medical robot. Oh, I wonder if we're going to use that medical robot for anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
I forgot just how creepy this part is.
Yeah, suddenly
Ventilation grill.
Suddenly, horror. Yeah.
I was only like 12, 13, 14 when I played this, dang it.
Yeah, and so we can look through these little windows into other rooms to get kind of hints. And I circle that grill on the floor there because that is something that's relevant to a puzzle.
Yeah, I remember this puzzle. This puzzle is like...
Which,
I don't
yes,
like this
you have an anecdote about that puzzle.
Friggin' almost the point of no... Apparently it's not. I think I glitched, but it's like a potential no-solve state.
Yes, because what happens is you have to... I mean, it will be shown off, but you have to distract the android that's walking around in that room. But you also have to do something else with that little grill on the floor before you go into that room, or else you just die.
Yeah.
Which is not very handy.
They don't appear to do anything.
But we have a robot here, and we have a circuit board for a robot. And this robot has another pixel hunty spot that you have to find to actually...
Slot.
Yeah, you have to...
Shove
you have
board
to find...
up robot slot.
Yeah. To override the medical robot's programming and stick Joey in him instead.
To an expansion port.
Good thing we have a very aggressive chipboard.
Yeah. It's it works very well at overriding programming. Apparently.
That
You might
voice,
notice
though.
that you might notice that Joey has a different method of speaking now.
Is more than likely. Negative.
Oh.
For some reason, no dialogue there either.
The technician is an android. I advise you to avoid contact with it.
Are you really the Joey I grew up
Yeah,
with?
he just suddenly...
You don't sound like him.
That is unavoidable.
Now,
My shell has a limited syntactic processor.
it says it has a limited syntactic
At
processor,
least you're not so
but it
obvious.
has a complicated enough one to say syntactic
I want you to
processor.
check out the tank.
It just doesn't sound like
Please be
Joey.
more specific.
Yeah.
I want a detailed report on our
But he's
agreement.
not quite as like snarky and sarcastic anymore either.
The
I appreciate.
android could be dangerous.
Exactly.
Well, he's
I
gonna
want
get
to
a
risk my neck.
spoiler alert, but he's gonna get a massive personality change by the end of the game.
That I remember that, and that was pretty funny. Anyways, we'll
Yeah.
see that later.
So we're sending Joey
That's
off
where the
to
medical robot gets its power.
distract the android.
It's activated by the
What he's gonna
robot's
do is
presence.
open the fluid tap on the little bubbling tank that was in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a report on the tank.
After, actually, he was.
Contains
Sorry, that's a
developing
spoiler as well. He
androids.
was
Nourishment is supplied
doing
from a
recon
tank.
on the room.
The temperature is maintained by convection from an underground source.
After all of this, we send him back in to open
Tell me
up the
about
fluid
road
tap.
tanks.
Because
Access to
you have to do that
is not
for the puzzle
possible.
involving the android.
Why are they growing
Access to the
androids? How does that
computer
work?
is denied. The tank contains chemicals on which the
Yeah, you would think that like
So, without
an
it being
android
done,
would be built rather than grown.
is there a way of draining the tank?
Because if you grow it, it's more like a
Manual
clone
evacuation
than
is
anything
achieved
else,
by opening a tap.
right?
It is programmed to safeguard the developing androids.
Is he dangerous?
And actually, this was
It's certainly
after
stupid and
Star Trek: The Next Generation as well,
threat.
so there was already precedent
That will
for
distract the
androids
android
being like
technician.
mechanical. Well, I mean, okay.
He said things is stupid enough to be a threat, and like we're trying to distract it with the tap, but the thing is too stupid to notice that there's like chemicals leaking all over the floor, right?
Sort of.
Of course.
It will notice it, but it doesn't notice it until we enter the room. Because reasons.
Obvs.
So this is the room that you have to toy around with to mess with the grill
It
in
holds
that
the
room
grill
above.
secure. The cover must regulate the heat from below.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna stand on it?
Bubbling, boiling
yes.
lava
but not while it's changing size.
I was gonna say.
I don't know if there's a way to walk into it while the cover is moving, but I do believe that after you use this control unit to solve the puzzle, I do believe that if you stand on the cover for too long, it will open and Rob will fall in. I didn't actually try, but I think that's something that will probably happen, because it's an adventure game.
And because adventure games are all about quick reflexes and timing, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't know if you need to... Like, there are two options in the control panel to boost and reduce the temperature. I'm not sure if you actually need to open up the cover wide.
You don't. You would just... You don't. Don't worry.
But I did anyway.
In fact, you've just gone and helped the androids survive as they grow, because you reduced and then boosted.
Nah.
It's okay. We're manually removing stuff from a tap.
Yeah. So now we can go in here, and this is where the game kind of... It's a cutscene. For all intents and purposes. Like, you don't control anything at this point while the dialogue is going on.
Yeah, if you don't open the tab and the grate, he'll come over to give a little conversation and then promptly snap your neck. And somehow in my game I was able to save while he was walking over to me, so it became a no-win spot.
I didn't actually try to open the menu during that dialogue sequence, so I don't know if it was a glitch or something you can actually just do.
It's a foul-smelling chemical soup.
There are a lot of items to interact with in this room, but there's nothing to actually do in it.
You just need to get through it, right?
Yeah. It's more world building and stuff, because you got all these chemical tanks that are where they're growing their androids.
And also, well, you know, the game is now creepy, so you have to be creepy.
There's a weird fetus thing floating.
Weird fetus.
Whoever said babies were cute?
Now,
Me?
it's not actually a baby yet, Rob. And of course, the fifth one there is empty.
There's a rubbery man in there. So that's how androids are created.
I'm not sure it is, though. But, I mean,
This tank isn't occupied.
fair enough. It's the game's logic.
I've got a hunch I'll need to open that.
You don't.
Oh, you cheeky game.
It's
That's the
the
most secure lock I've
it's
ever
the
seen.
upper door from the room where we found the medical robot in the first place. If you click on it from the other side, he says the same thing. But there's another link interface.
Monitors including that reactor. Oh no.
Yes.
This monitor is switched on.
There's
They're linked to
a whole
surveillance
bunch of
cameras.
terminals and monitors.
It's displaying some info.
Thanks, Rob. So yes, at this point I was fairly confused about what I needed to actually do. Unfortunately, this is a whole lot of wandering right here, because there's nothing I can actually do with the link terminal yet. But after I trigger an event shortly afterwards, there is a reason that I need to go back into cyberspace. But I figured because there was a link terminal, oh, maybe I have to go back into cyberspace now and I can get past the Crusader or something. No, you can't.
Hey, what is that stupid oscillator for?
We will find out after we get past the Crusader. Now, I thought it might have been used to, like, get past the Crusader or something, but no, there's no way to get past him. So there's nothing else to actually do in cyberspace after this point. Which was really obnoxious, because I wasn't entirely sure of what I needed to do. And the problem was that I didn't try interacting with the other terminal that was
Of course.
outside. Yes. Because you have to do something with the terminal, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But
Use
like,
brick on terminal.
yeah, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I have no idea.
Welcome to adventure games, obviously.
Yeah, so by chance, slide Reich's ID card into that terminal. Oh, it has different options than all of the other terminals. Right. So we have to we get a little more like background information, and then we open up the big locked door that was in the other room.
Nailed it. What happens if you use Anita's card in there?
I do not know.
Aww.
But look who that is.
I should have guessed you were part of all this. Why do you think
They don't actually name him
kill you?
at this point.
Meddling girl.
So
White jumpsuit man.
yeah, that's Gallagher
Eat you alive, Overman.
that we've seen in multiple locations previously in the game. How he got here, I don't know. Unless he's supposed to be like a clone of Gallagher.
Stop! Tell me what you want from me.
So
of
Gallagher
course
just punched a robot apart.
Yes, he beat up Joey and
Oh,
was going to finish the job until he got speared.
I am okay with this.
Another ID card for my collection.
Oh, and we get another ID card. And then we grab Joey's circuit board again,
Joey's lucky day.
because we're not going to go anywhere without Joey's
Joey
circuit
didn't
board.
last long in that shell.
How pull out?
His board
There we go.
was a memento.
Yeah.
That board is
Um,
slightly damaged, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still perfectly fine. Remarkably.
An android.
Thanks, Rob. So now we need to go back into cyberspace because we have yet another ID card. And
Of course.
first we're gonna wander through the new location though to see what kind of creepy things are in here. It's very creepy.
Whatever's in there is
What the heck is Link doing?
Yeah.
instant frost.
Now this whole section of the game, like I don't go through any of the puzzles
Controlling the time.
that are
A display
presented
on the
within this, because we're nearing the very end of the game, and like this whole room is just used for a sequence of puzzles. But there's something you have to get from.
Burn my hand.
Good job, Rob. There's something you have to get from cyberspace before you can actually do anything with this whole
It's a
section.
fully formed android
Uh,
body.
and
Hey, wake up, rubber features.
yeah, we're gonna talk to all these
A
androids,
computer
look
for
at all
each of
the
these androids.
all the consoles,
Yeah.
because there was not enough wandering. But we noticed that these consoles are called Walter, just like the weird androids that we've already seen up to this point. And
A personality download. Oh gosh.
suddenly creepy again.
Let's just
Oh.
exit. Let's go
Yeah,
back.
let's leave that for later. No reason to go in there. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So we have our new red Link card. For some reason, it's a different color. Presumably because it was issued to an android.
Yeah, probably.
Why an
Now-
android would need a Link card is beyond me.
I do really appreciate how like Joey. Oh yeah, we're ending. But Joey like actually saved us, even though he like hates us.
Not quite. Not quite.
Okay.
But yeah, Joey. Well, Joey grew up with us.
Yeah, I guess. So it's like as he's dying, he just puts up the spear and kills everything in front of him.
Yeah. From a medical robot, no less. That's the weird
That's
part.
not how
is that-
medical robots work, right?
Yeah, like he shot off one of his arms to kill an android. But in our third Link
Oh
card,
gosh.
we have Divine Wrath.
Classified.
Yes. And of course, Divine Wrath, well, is obviously going to be used to take out a Crusader. What else would you use Divine Wrath for?
Taking out eyeballs.
Unfortunately, no. Yeah. I liked the classy blood splatter, too. So, there's a crystal with a very garish, colored text box.
Yeah, it was saying something about Hobart Fun Industries. But yeah, if I know how my oscillation and crystals work...
Yes! So this is what we need the tuning fork for. Which means we go back to using Anita's ID card. Go back into cyberspace so that we can oscillate the crystals and get the virus that was downloaded to LinkSpace. And we will be finished with cyberspace.
Perfect.
It would have been nice if you had some way to actually, like, get rid of those eyeballs, but oh well. I like how this one section of cyberspace just has, like, a starry background as well.
It's actual space.
Yeah.
Combat Caudal Syndrome. Oh, so
Yeah,
it undoes rogue... It's a cure for cancer is what it's saying.
Well, yeah. Checking
growth of rogue tissue. Yeah, so it's a cure for cancer.
It also had a very garish yellow background that was hard to read. Which seems like counterproductive. But, you know...
It's
whatever.
the last line of defense against any people who shouldn't have that virus.
Yeah,
They don't know what it
exactly.
does because they can't read it.
Now that is of course the wrong terminal to use the virus on.
But at
Because
least
you have to-
Anita's card is now a bomb.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Alright.
Yep. Next
Yay!
time.
Next time we'll see it. Hooray!